Question.
Yeah.
Why is it called a Spanish squat? Did you make that up?
No. I don't know. I don't know who called that. I know Spanish, they do things in a different way.
Because I've never heard of that before.
Really?
I had to look it up.
The one with the elastics behind your back? You're behind your knees?
I mean, I've seen people do that. And I know you physios like to just take a normal exercise and just put a band on it.
Yeah.
What's with that?
It's much easier. Nah, it's just because it's a low grade way of doing an exercise, right? Before you start loading it up.
With weights.
Yeah.
Hi, Sal.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, not too bad, and you?
Good, thank you.
I'm nervous to be here with us.
You're nervous? That's all right. So, Sal, can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into sport and fitness?
I grew up with a background of my dad's and my grandfather being amazing athletes and very active people.
What did they play?
They both played rugby. So when rugby wasn't even a thing, I know back in the 30s or 40s.
And just to clarify, do we mean union?
Yeah, the rugby one, the proper one, the original one. Yeah, the union, rugby union. Yeah, so my grandfather played. Initially, my dad played, and he sort of introduced me into it. And since then, me and my brother loved it. But at the same time, we did our school years in a school was really orientated towards fitness and sports.
Mm-hmm.
So we both had a chance to like play pretty much almost every single sport, from horse riding, fencing, athletics, gymnastics, soccer, rugby, like handball, European handball, basketball, everything. We did pretty much everything, which is great because you have a better understanding of the sport itself and you can pick what you really like.
Yeah. But your main focus has been rugby for like the last...
Yeah, since I was 7 for the last 30 years.
30 years, yeah. And
close to 30 years.
And where did you get to with the sport? Like you got to quite a high level, would you say?
I had the dream when I was growing up. I was one of the prodigies of my club and academy. Or I want to believe I was. And I think for a long time, me and my brother, everyone was waiting for us to be...
Like to go pro?
Top level. Not because in my country was very amateur still, but I had the dream to become pro.
Mm-hmm.
And around the age of 15, 16, I got an offer to go to South Africa to the Blues Academy, which
you did?
Which I did not go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think I was maybe too immature at the time, and I thought that I don't need to go abroad to
just at
eventually.
The time.
Yeah, exactly. Just at the time. Hasn't changed much.
Yeah.
No, but I just felt like that. I don't know. I wasn't ready to leave my parents behind to South Africa. I couldn't speak English at all. Like I just felt that. I don't know. I saw more problems than advantage, unfortunately. I think if I could go back, I probably would have tried. Why not? But then that train left and never made a pro or a chance to be pro. But I played like
Were you semi-pro?
Yeah, yes and no. Like nah. Like there was a few years that we got paid a little bit at our club, just because they were trying to perhaps making the competition semi-pro or pro. But still today, it's still an amateur comp account.
Okay, yeah.
Majority is amateur.
Yeah.
But I played alongside like really good international professional players. So I can't deny that. But unfortunately, when I became senior, my career never took off for different reasons. Uni, quality perhaps. But I still love the game. It's what it matters.
And you still play it?
I still play it somehow. Yeah. I still drag myself on the field is what it is. No, I still have the love for the game. And yeah, maybe like the speed is not there, but I think the understanding of the game is still there. And I would like nowadays more to pass it on to the next generation and, and try to convince them to take the chances as they come and don't think about the future. Because, as it happened to me, that train never came back. So I never had the chance again to perhaps go to another academy. And that's, I won't say a regret, but it just never panned out.
Yeah. But you're always going to have paths not taken.
Yeah.
Right? Like with anything.
They always take you somewhere.
Yeah.
It took me to Australia, for example. Maybe if I had gone to South Africa, I was never here at the moment.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to be on this podcast.
Yeah, I know, exactly. What a great podcast. Influencing so many people out there. No, but things like it's whatever the course life takes. But just don't wait. If you want something, just take it, and think and don't look for the problems, just look for the positives that will bring you. Because the problems, they will get it sorted somehow.
Yeah. And do you think it was your love for the sport that eventually brought you into physiotherapy where you practice now?
Yes and no. Yes, because I think growing up and playing, I was always playing the group age above my age. Or sometimes I would play in the same weekend for both, like my age group and the one above. And I always had too many injuries and body falling apart, so I was quite exposed to physio all the time.
Yeah, okay.
Like for long periods, sometimes every week, multiple times a week, like trying to recover with physio through the week, then to play on the weekend. So in some ways, I got the understanding of being a physio, rehabbing, making the difference, working with athletes. But at the same time, my mom is a physio, so I think I always got a few things from her as well.
Yeah.
And her friends, so yeah, I think it was a combination of both.
Everything, yeah. Okay. Well, you've played rugby like for some 30 years now.
Almost, yeah.
And I think like regardless of wherever you got at the, I guess, height of your rugby playing career, the fact that you've continued for like 30 years is quite impressive. Like you've had quite a bit of longevity in the game. What do you think motivates you to play and to continue to play this sport?
Having fun when I'm out there. Like all the problems, from living just disappear for a few moments. I think in some ways it's a way that makes you feel young because, I hang out at the club with, 17-year-olds and I have fun with them and we play around as, 30 plus or even 40s. I think it's a good way to, going out with them and, laugh and stuff. It makes me young, makes me be active and have a goal every day.
Yeah.
Because I found it hard sometimes, exercising without like a purpose. I think what rugby brought me was like I'm highly competitive with myself.
You're driven by performance goals.
Performance goals and yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm highly competitive in everything I do.
Yeah.
I'm never happy. Some people say that I'm always cranky on a field. I was like, I'm not cranky. I'm never happy with my performance.
Yeah.
Even if
so
probably
you
I have
like to strive for something better.
And that goes the same with everything. Even with physio, sometimes in the back of my mind, I was like, I think I can do better. Maybe, someone could. I recovered in 2 weeks. Maybe it could have been a week and a half. Or I'm always, which it's if you don't take it as a negative, as like bringing you down, criticizing yourself. If you make it in a way that it's a way to challenge you to be better, I think what it does, it's what makes me push me a little bit more every time. What I've been thinking is like, okay, once I don't have rugby, what happens afterwards? But I'll find smaller goals, different goals.
Yeah.
That'll make me be motivated at the gym to reach that goal, right?
Maybe you'll take up cycling.
Could be cycling.
Like most 30-something in Australia.
The midlife crisis at 30. Everyone is a triathlete and Ironmans and stuff. No, something else. Could be just like a run, a 10K run, but I'll work towards that goal. And then it could be just a 1K swing. Like, does it need to be like something high
like
level?
in a structured sort of sport.
Can be, just for, touch footy, fun competition, but I still like to prepare myself for those things. Again, just have small goals. And I think people need to understand it's the same in rehab, the same in life, the same in fitness. You'll never go up all the time. You need to go down. And it's okay to go down. It's okay to, you don't have a six pack today, you might have in 3 months. But then in 7 months' time, you might not have it again, and then you build it again. So it's always up and down.
Yeah, it's more fluid rather than like a linear.
Yeah, but everyone is expecting to go up all the time, and then they get frustrated and they don't understand that they lose motivation and goes in the spiral down, which is okay. You look at the bodybuilders; they don't always look amazing.
No, that's true.
You see them 4 months before a comp, like they just look average. Well, and then suddenly
they probably look above average.
Yeah, no, average, like they look bulky probably, but they're not leaner, they're not, rigged.
Yeah.
And then suddenly in 4 months they just, shred so much and they they look statues suddenly. And might last another month afterwards, but then they lose it again and then they build again.
Yeah, so that's true.
It just needs to go in cycles.
Yeah.
Look at your DNA, it goes up and down. That's the simple form of life.
Did you come up with that?
Just ChatGPT.
So with your rugby, you have quite a few commitments to it during the week. How do you make time for sport and training with a busy life?
Yeah, it's a bit I'm gonna admit it's not easy.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible either.
Yeah, sure.
It involves a lot of planning. Involves a lot of communication, between doing what I like as individual, preparing for a sport, practicing the sport, working, and family commitments and extra like things in life. You just need to plan ahead and have lots of talk as well with your family members or friends or bosses and just all work together. And sometimes you just need to compromise a little bit. If everyone just compromises a little bit, it's not going to make everyone happy at the same time, but like it's possible.
Yeah, it's probably more within reach than what people think. Yeah.
But
a lot of people think they're too busy because they've got family commitments.
Yeah, but then they're never too busy to scroll on their phones or watch a movie. Like, it's your priorities.
That's true.
As once I saw Schwarzenegger saying that, like, your day has 24 hours.
Yeah.
You work for 10, you still have 14 hours ahead. You sleep for 8, you still have 6 hours. In 6 hours, there's a lot that can be done. Or as you say, just sleep faster. Now, you don't need 8 hours. It can be 6, 7. Still counts as a rest, which is good for your body. But you can squeeze in 45 minutes there. But if you prefer, sitting at a pub or watching an extra movie or be on your phone for another hour, if everyone counts how much time they spend on their phones, I'm sure that you can reduce that 45 minutes or half an hour into some sort of exercise. I do it at 5:30 in the morning. It's when I found time to make everyone happy. Do I like waking up at 5? No, I don't. But to reach my goals and to achieve what I want, you need to suffer a little bit. You can't just, things that don't land on your lap. I think it's a bit of a mindset.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get caught up with life. And once you get, like, life takes over, you sort of forget a little bit about yourself. And it's much easier to be in your comfort zone. But once you change that and change that pattern, then again, that becomes your routine. Now it's my routine.
Yeah.
It's my routine. I'm happy with it. At some stage, I was working out at lunchtime, so I would have like an hour lunch. I would work out for like 30, 40 minutes, would give me 20 minutes, 15 to have lunch and spare 5 minutes just to relax a little bit before going back to work. Everything depends. Doesn't need to be every day. Doesn't need to be like, I think it's going to get to a point that you're going to regret that you didn't do anything beforehand. And it's going to cost you financially as well, it's going to cost you more because then suddenly you need to catch up with it. And I think
As
that's
in
what
you may have injuries or illnesses.
illnesses,
in the future.
everything.
Mm.
Again, it doesn't need to be much. Like if you don't have an athletic goal, like you can just have your own personal goal of, being sort of healthy. Muscles moving, joints moving. Try to prevent to have um, a knee replacement by the age of 50 if you can push it for later.
Yeah.
All those blood pressures, moods, even for moods.
Yeah,
It's for general well-being.
Good mood and energy. Yeah,
and sometimes
definitely.
to take you out of your normal life, kids, work, partners, friends, whatever. Sometimes
good to
they
have
just good to
the time for yourself. Yeah.
push it off.
So you have a family. You have some young kids.
Yep.
How do you balance your family life with training? Because I don't have that. So I don't really know what that's like. But do you have any advice for people that are thinking, oh, it's really tough to do?
Like it's tough, but it's the tough things that they, that you enjoy the most afterwards, right? Like I play rugby, my partner plays rugby as well, so sometimes we have conflict of games at the same day. Who trains, who goes to training? Sometimes I need to miss training for her to go. Sometimes she misses for me to go. Sometimes we are able to both go and take the kids with. Like my kids, fortunately, I believe they come along to my trainings. So they might go to bed late, yeah, it's true, but at the same time, they spend an hour, 2 hours outdoors, just running around, having fun outdoors, as long as it's not like terrible weather. And fortunately, in my club, some of the other guys, they bring the kids, so they can all chase each other. And then I guarantee you, once they get home, they cry straight away.
Yeah.
Like involves planning, involves a lot of friends, and I'm really grateful for everyone in my team. For example, like my teammates, partners, that sometimes if I take them with me to a game, they sort of keep an eye on them, so they're not just like if something happened, they take over.
I think it sounds like you, in terms of you and your partner, you guys have similar goals and values, and then you're also embedded in this community that is also understanding of those shared goals.
But sometimes
as well.
it's clashing.
Sometimes it
that's
clashes.
the hard part is when we clash because it's like, oh, I don't feel like taking the kids because I'm playing somewhere else.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm the same. So we get a bit like, oh, but we have kids, so who takes them? Who do we go with?
But you kind of again, share that responsibility.
You compromise.
Yeah.
And I think it's good because you need to compromise. And I'm happy that she does as well her rugby because it's her moment, and I really appreciate that she does it. It's a bit of compromising, and both parties need to understand that. It's not easy, but of course it's not. It's much easier being a single person, you just do whatever, but it's not impossible either. You can make it fun, or you can see it as a problem.
Yeah.
I never saw, as a problem. Like having a family is not a disease, it's not a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
But a lot of people, they see it that way. It's like, oh, I have family, I can't do it. It's like, yes, you can.
Yeah, or they see it as like, well, I can only do a little bit, but I don't want to just do a little bit. I want to do something else. I want to do more, so then I'm not going to try at all.
But doing the little bit is better than not doing it at all.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I used to surf every day. Now I don't. It's like once or twice a week. If I can, some weeks I can't either. Or some days that I can, the weather, the ocean is not great for it. So I went from surfing a lot to almost no surfing, but I can still go, but just depending on the conditions. I still go once or twice, but I still try to go. Not ideal, but like it's not bad either.
As a physio, you've worked with a lot of professional and semi-professional athletes. I did look at your website before doing this interview.
Oh, there's a lot that's not written there.
When you, I guess, play sport at a high level, or when you train at a high level, like intensity and volume-wise, your chance of injury, like naturally increases, right?
Increase because you have heavy loads.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But at the same time, in a professional way, because they just do that pretty much, they have a lot of recovery done
Oh, that's
behind the
true.
scenes.
Yeah.
And that's what an amateur athlete doesn't have.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So the professionals, they get like they do their training in the morning or whatever they do. They might go and do a bit of recovery session. Then they might have lunch. And they might do another training in the afternoon. Then they have a little bit more recovery, dinner, recovery, bed.
Yeah.
An amateur athlete doesn't have. It's like you
So
train,
do you
you
see more
eat, you work.
injuries in amateurs then?
It's just slightly different. Just
Yeah.
because yeah, I would say that amateurs they might be slightly more prone for injuries because
Okay. Yeah.
they need to invest more money in different things.
Yeah.
So they need to invest money
And time
in a
as well.
gym or personal trainer or sports and
Yeah.
conditioning, in paying for like recovery sessions, for physio sessions, even if it's just for preventive stuff.
Yeah.
While a professional athlete, everything is given to them.
What types of common injuries do you see then? Are they more sort of accidental injuries, or are there any sort of preventable injuries that could be, for example, prevented by like better program design, or like you said, better recovery maybe?
A bit of both. So it depends of type of the season you are. You
Yeah.
have different injuries.
Yeah.
So usually pre-season there's heavy loads like tendons, muscles, even bones, stress fractures. They start coming up because they went from not doing much to suddenly going heavy loads, and the body didn't have time enough to adjust.
Yeah.
Then you have the accidental ones from mid-season, from like week in, week out, getting smashed or pushed or challenged.
Yeah.
And then you have the back end of the season, which is more like fatigue. Things are just reaching the limit and just can't cope. And that can be knees, ankles, shoulders. Depends a lot of the sport and the stress that you've been exposed. But my recommendation is prepare yourself as much as you can. So put it this way, there is not much evidence that correlates if you do a lot of one single leg proprioception, you're not going to roll your ankle. It's hard to correlate both because,
Wait, how do you prepare?
So if you do like, for example, single leg balance to increase your proprioception in single leg, that doesn't mean that then when you go on the field, you're not going to roll an ankle. It might just happen, right?
Oh, okay.
Because there's way more fractures that they can interfere. It can be an accident, someone just stepped on it. Doesn't matter how prepared you are. But my recommendation is prepare yourself as much as you can with a trainer or sports and conditioning coach, because as much prepared as you are physically, then things will be able to cope a little bit more once they're under stress because you have already been exposed to it. Right? So if you've been exposed to heavy loads, heavy heats, heavy everything, then there's chances that on a field you can cope as well with them.
Yeah.
But you can be at the wrong spot at the wrong time, and you can still do like perfect angle. You can still do your ACL.
You're saying like you can never really prevent, like no amount of training and preparation can ever like prevent injuries. Are what you're saying?
What I'm saying is like you can never correlate because you've done exercise A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
The chances that you have a particular injuries, they're not going to happen or they're minimized. They still might happen.
Yeah.
Because there is one thing that no one talks, and it's very underrated: food and quality of food.
Okay, yeah.
So you can look amazing, you can go to the gym amazing, but if you, for example, fuel your body or you fuel up with a lot of rubbish food, everything in your body is going to be made of rubbish. So you can be super well prepared, but then once you need your ACL to hold you up, if it's made of rubbish, it's going to give away. And you see that a lot in professional athletes. You see professional athletes that, they are big ass and they have everything to be an amazing athletes, but every second week they're injured. And no one can understand why. And it's like, well, I'm sure that they have the best physios. I'm sure that they have the best medical team. I'm sure that they have the best personal trainers, the best coaches. Why are they getting injured all the time? And you need to look like
they don't have a nutritionist.
Maybe it's the rest. Maybe like at some stage it's not just the nutritionist anymore. It's like whatever you've done in the last 20 years.
Yeah. Right? Okay. Yeah.
When you're growing up, were you always having sodas and chips, or you were like giving like good quality nutrients.
Okay.
So it's a bit like it's never just one thing. It's usually
I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
It's a combination of factors.
It's multifactorial.
Here we go. That's a word. That's the word. I was trying to come up with it, and I can't pronounce it, but yeah, that's the word.
Okay.
It's hard, but I think the take is
that
like
makes sense. Yeah.
prepare yourself as much as you can for the sport that you're going to do, because because that builds confidence, and things will be just ready when they come. There's no magic rehab exercise or program that's going to be like you're going to be pain free. But there's ways that you can prepare as much as yourself to see if when those challenges come, if things can hold up.
The capacity for it. Yeah. That is, a good takeaway for athletes. But what can we sort of learn if we're, not athletes, so just for the general population, like how can we apply that piece of advice to our own training and nutrition and lifestyle?
The principle is exactly the same. Prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally for, could be just to go to work, but you still need to prepare yourself from all of it. If you want to do the, city to surf and you want to engage in a bit of running, it's not professional running, but you still need to prepare yourself. And I think it's when a lot of people, they forget, they think that, preparing myself, I'm going just for a 5K run. But I've never run for the last 10 years. But suddenly this year the goal is, I'm going to go for a run. We see a lot in half marathon or people that they want to have the goal this year. I want to run a marathon at the end of the year. But they've never done pre-work to lead into it.
Yeah, and I think that's what I guess athletes do really well is they have a structured way to like build up their conditioning and their strength capacity. Whereas I guess it's harder to know if you're just, amateur or
there's not much information. People think like, if I want to go for the city to surf, if I've never run but I have that goal, I'm gonna start running tomorrow. But now like you still need to go to the gym, do your calf raises, do your plyometrics, get the structures ready for those shock absorbing movements and repetitive strains. And people forget that, and they get usually at the 7-10 Ks and the body starts collapsing. And they're like, but I've been increasing my run. I was like, but you followed an app. Like you need to listen to your body because your body is different than mine.
Yeah.
Like you have a bit of a running background. If I try to keep up with you at the same training because it's what the app says, my body probably in 2 weeks will have some tendinopathies on my Achilles because, I prefer sprinting than long running and I'm not used to that stress, repetitive stress for that amount of time. And I need to adjust and probably I need a month or 2 or 3 on the same level until everything adjusts for me to increase again. It's tissue loading and people don't understand that. They just think it's just like, I'll go for a run and slowly increase my pace and increase my distance and voila.
Or they see it as like a challenge, sort of like, I sort of have this feeling that I'm not quite ready, but like she'll be right. Yeah. Like let's just see how we go.
We train up again. You have a goal. I'm really happy for it, and it might work for maybe 80%, but you still have that 20%, for example, that we see that it came to us and they don't understand. But I follow whatever app is about running. Like I'm sure that another million people follow the same app, and a lot of them they don't have problems, but for some reason that particular person's body just can't cope with that loading. And they don't know because they've never probably trained much before. They don't have the understanding behind it because let's be fair, a lot of people, they don't care about they don't care, they don't see investing for the personal life a trainer to be with them to maybe go through and explain them those loadings and how to listen to your body. And maybe you're not ready still for that challenge, that step back a little bit and build up, and they just follow apps and like as much as they can do. So if you have zero goals, definitely like see someone because you're gonna achieve it.
It's a great investment.
Okay. Show your business card there.
I think those tips are really helpful. I think it's important to train you know, safely and like sustainably and build up gradually. Especially to stay active, right? As we get older, and active aging is like something I'm really passionate about, and we're both, you know, really passionate about. And I think, especially as I've gotten older, I mean, I'm not that old, but as I've entered my 30s, I'm really appreciating the good that exercise can do for me and the way that I feel. Do you feel like your approach to training has changed as you've gotten older? Because you're getting old too.
You get older, but you get wiser.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
And being wiser, I think you start learning about your body more, and listen to your body. But as well, you start prioritizing different things. And in life, like, your priorities change constantly. You know, my priorities when I was 19 and 20s and 30s, they change because life changes as well. And I feel, for example, personally, I feel way more ready and way more athletic nowadays than when I was 20s.
Yeah.
And 20s, I didn't have a coach. I think, like, I knew everything. Oh, I know a bit of physio. I've been exposed to sport a lot. I will know how to do things. But the reality is, like, I didn't. Because it's really hard, and you probably find it hard to program and plan things for yourself. It's much easier when you have someone from the outside and does that job for you, because he can read things in a different way.
Oh, it's so nice. Yeah.
So it's what I did. I decided to make an investment and have a strength and conditioning coach that looks after my fitness and strength, for, in this case, for rugby. That's my goal. But as well as sometimes I do beach sprinting. So he looks after that phase as well. And
so you feel like you're training smarter now?
Smarter.
As you're
smarter, but I prioritize resting. I prioritize food intake, quality intake, more than food, the quality. And that's the things that as well that I started learning with a bit of age, and you start getting out of what the majority, because a lot of people, they just do things because it's what everyone is doing. And sometimes not necessarily is the right thing. Or the most appropriate thing. So,
or like, what's optimal for one person is not always going to be optimal for you as well.
But a lot of people just do the same things because everyone does it, so it must be right. And sometimes not. So stepping back a little bit, learning from different practitioners or different sports and conditioning coaches, they all will have slightly different approaches. But as long as you find one that works well with you, like, I got heavier. Like, I put like almost 10 kilos on the last 5 years with this coach. I'm way stronger and faster, and I can handle way more during the game than I used to when I was 25. 25, I thought that was...
How old are you now? Do you want me asking?
32. Plus something. Let's call it mid-30s.
Okay, yeah.
36 at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think like maybe the last 2 years is just a recovery that I feel that's slightly slower.
Okay, sure.
And harder to recover. I just feel things a little bit more the next day.
Yeah. But performance-wise, you feel like...
Yeah, like, I think like last year and 2 years ago, like, I put it this way. When I was mid-20s, I would struggle to cope with the first half of a game. And the second half, I was just like, oh my God. When does this finish?
Yeah.
And like, not this season that just came, but the one before, my club was going through a few struggles, and we ended up playing 2 grades in a row. And I could play 2 games in a row. Like, I was sore the next day. Sometimes I barely could move the next day, but like, I've never imagined when I was 20, I could barely do one half, and now I did 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
And you play second grade, and then you play first grade. And the first grade, like, the second game is harder than the first one.
Yeah.
So it's not that it goes down in sort of difficulty.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. It goes hard, and I was still playing. Maybe not the best because I already had 1 game in my legs, but I could never imagine doing that like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm way heavier than I was at the time.
Yeah. No, I definitely relate to that. I feel like now I'm probably the fittest that I've ever been, and I've been training probably for like nearly 10 years, and I've done like different sports and things. I was doing climbing before, and now I'm more into running. But yeah, I think if I asked myself in my 20s when I first started getting into the gym, I probably wouldn't have thought I'd be running, half marathon sort of distances for sure. And I think people, I feel like people have this idea that as we age, we naturally become less fit and less athletic. But I don't think that's always the case. I feel like if you give your body like the right stimulus, your body is able to adapt to that stimulus and you're able to maintain and even build fitness into later life, I feel like.
Yeah. Everything depends a bit with, again, what sport you have, but definitely it's just consistency, right? If you get consistent, because things they're not going to happen tomorrow, they're going to happen, put it this way. Michael Phelps won everything in one of the Olympics. I think it was.
I remember that one, yeah.
Might have been Beijing or something
yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
And between the previous Olympics and that one, or maybe London, anyway, between those two Olympics, in 4 years preparation, he had 3 days off. One he was sick, one was his birthday, that one he just wanted. 3 days off in 4 years preparation. So he sacrificed a lot to suddenly become a legend, right? And I think a lot of people, they don't want to sacrifice things, and it's much easier to say, oh, I'm getting older, this is how it is. It's like, yeah, until a certain point it is. Because, we can't, aging is just part of life. And, your body's going to recover less, wear and tear a bit everywhere, your joints going to start stiffen up. That's true. But if you don't do anything about it, you're not going to.
It becomes this like cycle though, because they pull back on activity, then your body will decondition. So then you'll even more so feel less fit when you try to do things.
And then if you keep active, you can.
And then the reverse is true.
You can have fun and enjoy. Like I have, patients 60 plus, and they're out there playing Osteg, and I was like, well, I would love to be that person. I don't want to be 60 and just like limping around and like, how is life? I don't have much to do. Like, I found that amazing. Like, one of the things that surprised me a lot was here in Australia though, was, you wake up in the morning and you have 70, 80 players exercising, doing ocean swims. And I was like, my grandmother at 70 plus, she would just sit, watch TV, cook, and that's it. And wobble around, and because we don't have that
like that
culture of like looking after your body. And I think here in Australia you still have it. And I found that amazing. Because that's what you're.
I think it's also because we're here as well. Wollongong.
No, everywhere. I lived in Sydney, it was the same.
Okay.
I think it's just the mindset is different. Everyone just rather prefer, because let's be fair, everyone's going to be in pain. It's just how you suck it up with the pain, like till a certain extent, or not. Like, I'm sure that you're in pain almost every second day, either because you train or you run or because you push a little bit too much. Like, that's part of being active. Because I guarantee you, if you don't be active, you're going to be in pain as well.
That's true. Well, do you have any advice, just to close off, for people wanting to stay active, maybe getting into later life, but they're having these pains and needles? Like, how do we manage and navigate those?
Come and see physio.
Come and see
physio. Don't do anything. Go see. Now, joke. Like now keep keep your body moving. Movement is lotion. So just
movement is lotion.
So keep moving.
And life is a DNA.
Yeah,
was that
exactly.
what you said?
No, life is like a DNA.
Oh, okay.
Or training, life, everything. Life is DNA. It is as well. No, just like
motion is lotion. I like that.
Motion is lotion. Just keep moving. Keep the body likes movement. Is made to be moved. Just like don't go over the top, but as well don't just sit around and you look at lifestyle. That's the price of the nowadays lifestyle of everyone. Like we sit probably 80% of our time. We're sitting here, we sit to drive, we sit to wait for someone, we sit to eat, like we're all sitting all the time, and we just don't understand that. So we just need to move a little bit more, because by moving, blood flows, everything moves. The body was made to move. Don't be scared of moving.
I think that's a lovely note to finish on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for today and making the time for this little podcast.
Hopefully everyone understood my accent. Otherwise, subtitles down here, and we should be fine. Thank you. Thanks for having me.